Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karima and I am powered by power. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is episode 3 of a series that I'm calling Why I'm Still Single. So I'm sharing all of my story, well, not all of it because that would be a lot and there's not enough space on my camera to share the whole story. But I decided to do a series for the month of February because it's Valentine's Day this month and Black History this month, and more power to the people, you know, all that good stuff. You see my ambiance here. But I just wanted this release. I said this in my last video. If you didn't watch my first 2 episodes, shame on you. Go watch them right now. Like, pause this video right now and go watch them, please. Thank you. Thank you. But if you did, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, this is episode 3. First episode was about my family, my parents, and how their influence shaped my life right now. Episode 2 was about elementary and middle school. Took it way back. I'm still taking it back in episode 3. This episode is all about high school. This is going to be an exciting episode to talk about. The next episode that'll be launching tomorrow, be airing tomorrow, is episode 4, which is about college. Yeah, I'm gonna be praying real hard releasing that episode because sheesh, college days. Anyway, after that, episode 5 is gonna be about teaching and just like my transition from being in college and going straight into the career that I've always wanted to do. And how that affected my love life. And then after that, I'm just gonna give a general synopsis of adulting, this living on my own and trying to do this dating thing. And yeah, adulting is gonna be episode 6, and then episode 7 is gonna be all about where I am currently, where I stand right now in my love life, and just an update on where I am and where I plan on going. So stay tuned for all of that. Let's just get into this episode 3, high school. So y'all see my sweater. I almost wore something different. I actually had on something different. I was like, this is an episode about high school, so why not, you know, wear my high school sweater. Check me out. I didn't even go on my senior trip. I don't know if you can see it, but this is the sweater from my senior trip that I didn't even get to go on because I got into an argument with my dad about my boyfriend and that my then boyfriend in high school. So let's get into this story time. I told y'all before, get y'all popcorn, y'all snacks, whatever ready, because we just gonna be talking. We gonna have a conversation, okay? So high school, I went to there was a high school. What was the name of the high school that I went to? No, that was middle school. I actually didn't even say that in my last video. I went to a different middle school before I transferred to Philippa Schuyler. It was Crown or something like that. And I was going to do the same thing with high school, where I went to Clara Barton first and then transferred to Benjamin Banneker. My mom had the meeting set up and everything, but I had started for like a week and a half already at Barton. Went to Clara Barton High School for health professions, which I didn't. Like, why was I there? I wanted to be a teacher. I knew I wanted to be a teacher. So why was I going to a school for health professions? But I ended up going, and I ended up really liking the people there. And I was just like, yeah, I don't want to go to Banneker. It's all right. Like, you don't got to go through with that whole meeting, whatever. Because I already did that in middle school, transferred from one school and went to another school, left everything and just went to this new school. And I'm just like, been there, done that. I'm just staying. Let's see what this is about, right? Craziest thing, well, let's start with 9th grade. 9th grade was interesting because I had finally got to like start wearing clothes. Like, I had uniform, not start wearing clothes, that sounded weird, but like we wore uniform in middle school, so I didn't have to like worry about like dressing too much, just on the weekends and stuff like that. So I wasn't really into fashion. So when I started high school, we had to go shopping. I had to like figure out like how I wanted to dress. Like, it was real like basic stuff. It wasn't anything extravagant. I was like I was already a sneakerhead, so I kind of like just went that route. And I don't want to say that like my boy craziness that I had in middle school went away, because it really didn't. It kind of just was like, this is high school, like who do I want to be, like let's like figure this out and let's like ease into this kind of thing. Like I want to make sure that I'm like the girl that I want to be. Like middle school was done, 8th grade shenanigans, that whole fiasco was done. Like I wanted to reinvent myself. So that's pretty much what 9th grade was to me. I did date this one guy, but I don't even remember how it started or how long it lasted. It just was very, very brief. And like it was like, I remember like all of our friends in the cafeteria like setting it up, like, oh yeah, he likes you, you like him, y'all should kind of date kind of thing. It was just real like high school 9th grade, we don't know no better, we just got here kind of situation. And it did not last long. It really is not even like worth mentioning. He probably doesn't even remember. I also still keep in touch, not keep in touch with him, but like a lot of my friends from middle school and high school, we are still on social media. So like I'll see him pop up, he'll like my stuff every now and then. I don't even know if he remembers us like dating, because it was very, very brief. But 9th grade came and went. The summer after 9th grade, my mother decides to put me in summer camp. I'm in high school, bro. Like, let me stay in a house. Like, why are you putting me in summer camp? So she puts me in summer camp, and the summer camp was right next to my high school. Like, it was at I think it was like a middle school or elementary school right next to my high school. My high school was here, the camp was right next door. So I'm like, I go here. Like, this is my high school, and I'm going, like, it was embarrassing. But there was other people there my age or whatever. So the counselors that we had were not too much older than us. Like, I was, how old are you in 9th grade? Like, what, 15? And the counselors was like 16, 17. And I ended up talking to one of my counselors. We actually got in trouble for it. Like, the director sat we were like the oldest group there. Cody is situating himself in his little playpen. We were like the oldest group there, so I think they saw our interactions with the counselors. They was like, listen, if you guys date counselors, just giving us this, I don't even remember what it was, but I was bold. Like, I don't care, I'm in high school, like I can do what I want. Like so I was bold. I remember just being bold in that meeting, like, yeah, we dating, so kind of thing. But that was short-lived, because that summer, that was back in the MySpace era, like the Skonex era. Y'all remember that? Yeah. My friend from middle school posted a picture of her friend from her high school on her MySpace. And I'm like, ooh, who's that? Like, you okay, Cody? Sorry, guys. Dog mom life. I was like, I put like a comment underneath the picture, like, ooh, who's that? Or something like that. Something along the lines, like to like make it seem like I was interested, kind of thing. Like, oh, I don't know if I put he's cute. I was like, something clever. Long story short, homeboy reaches out to me that was in the picture and was like, hey, I saw you comment on my picture, whatever. And my friend kind of like hooked it up or whatever, and like I think we started talking on AIM or something, or like texting back. I don't really remember what was our source of communication back then, but like that's when all that stuff was out. And we decided to meet. He came and picked me up from camp one day after camp. Mind you, I was still kind of like sort of talking to the counselor. But once I met him and we hung out that day, we kind of like clicked, and like things like just went from there. The counselor was a wrap. Like, it was it was a wrap for him. So yeah, we started talking, we started hanging out all the time, like just spending all of our free time together, on the phone all the time, just like getting to know each other. And I think maybe like 2 or 3 days like into talking and like hanging out and stuff, we were just like, let's make this official. And like to the point where we were like, I love you already. Like, it was mad fast. And the date, I'll so that I won't say any names, I'll call him 823. So August 23rd, 2007 was when I met my first love of my life. And ever since that, like, I'm not gonna say ever since that, but like since that day, like we were just like, we had this connection. We were just, he was, I'm trying not to go too far back and like relive those memories, because we're not like that anymore, obviously. But he was that guy. He was so romantic, so spontaneous, so thoughtful, so just like attentive, and like he was that guy. Okay, he would back then in high school, I was back and forth between Brooklyn and Staten Island. My mom was in Brooklyn, my dad was in Staten Island, and like me and my mom started bumping heads when I was in high school, so I went to live with my dad for a while. And when I tell you, this boy would take he would pick me up. He went to a whole other school. He actually went to Benjamin Banneker, the school I was supposed to go to, right? So he would come to pick me up at Franklin Ave train station. We would take the train to the ferry, ride the ferry. We would ride the ferry all the time, so much so that we like carved our names in one of the old ferries. Like we were just cute. Like we would just do stuff like that. We were just like, I was living like this like fairy tale kind of relationship with dude, because that's who he was. And he would take the ferry with me. Then I would have to take the bus there. He would take the bus all the way to my stop, walk me to my door, and then take the bus, the ferry, and the train all the way back to Brooklyn where he lived. Like every day, faithfully. And I'm just like thinking about it now, and obviously I've evolved and I've grown, and I want to say sorry if he's listening. I was just like, came from a broken home, so I was just broken, and I didn't really like, of course for like the first 2 years and like the first year and a half, I was in it, like so much so like I was like going back and forth with my family and my parents, kind of like, nah, he's the one, like you can't tell me nothing. But I was still kind of like torn internally, because just that insecurity that existed from middle school and elementary school, and like my glow up, I started to like, you know, get more of like who I was, or trying to figure out who I was, getting more comfortable in my skin. And when guys started giving me attention, it was just like, oh yeah, this is how y'all giving it up now that I have a man, like y'all want to come out the woodwork. Like it was crazy. I would say like a handful of times I would do something where I would like meet up with my old crush. I think I said this in my middle school episode. I met up with one of my old crushes from middle school, and I gave him the book of poems that I wrote for him, and everything I did I would tell homeboy. Like I would tell 823. Like I didn't keep anything from him. I was very open, very honest, but at some point I was just like, all right, Karima, you gotta like get it together. Like stop doing this. You don't have to keep, you know, trying to like cater to all this attention that you want. Like I really feel like, and even now as an adult, I feel like it was an attention thing for me. Like when dudes would give me attention, I would just be open, and I would just be like, okay, like, because I didn't have that for majority of like middle school and elementary school. So when it came, it was just like I didn't really know what to do with myself, and it was just like new to me, and I didn't really have the guidance that I needed to really do what I was supposed to do and honor the relationship that I was in. And senior year came, and we broke up because my dumb self did something stupid and I cheated, and it was the final straw for him. And he was just like, nah, I'm not gonna be able to do it anymore, because he had forgiven me before. I didn't like cheat crazy, but I was like, I would talk to this guy here and there, but when I did that, it was just like, yeah, nah, you played yourself kind of thing. And so I played myself. And right before prom, I didn't even get to go to prom with the dude that I spent almost all my high school career with. Like it was just, I was just dumb, just dumb. But prom was still good. I ended up taking my best friend. Me and my best friend went together. He was just like, we went shopping together, and we ended up matching real quick, and I still had a date for prom, but it wasn't the love of my life. So once we graduated and everything, and I went to college, we would keep in contact. When I would come back home, we would link up every now and then, and it wasn't all the time, because when I got to college, I'll talk about that in my next episode, I met somebody in college too. So when we got together, it was just like me and 823 was just like, we already broke up, so our linking like wasn't really like official, like we gonna get back together kind of thing. He did tell me one time in college, like, no matter what happens, I kind of still want you to be the mother of my kids kind of thing. And I remember when he said that to me, I was where I was, and like I was in my dorm room, and he said that to me, and I'm just like, why would you tell me this? Like, this is what I'm gonna keep in my mind. And like sometimes I still think about that, but like obviously we say things when we're that age that we don't really mean, because life happens and we can't really keep those promises. So eventually I remember the last time we kind of really like saw each other. No, I've lied. The last time like things were like solidified and it was just over was actually after graduation. In my he's thirsty. He came to, I remember he came to campus. I went to U Albany. He came to campus like twice. The first time he came, it was a joke. Like we barely saw each other. The second time he came, that was like the like final straw for us. Like I remember being in my room blasting Brandy. Like what song was I listening to? I remember just listening to the song over and over. It was a Brandy song. I can't remember. I'm gonna think about it and put it right here. This is the song I was listening to over and over, and it was just like we were done. Like I was just like I'm just purging him. Like it is what it is. I'm starting my new life with this new person, and we were done. And that was sophomore year of undergrad. So for like 3 years we didn't talk. And then randomly in my adult life, I went to, I don't know if it was when I went to Africa, but he worked in the airport, and I saw him in the airport because he worked for TSA on my way to Africa. And like he came out of nowhere. I think he was like behind the counter, and then when I went through customs or whatever, he came to just give me a hug, and that was like the last time I saw him. But I want to say right before that, there was a time where I invited him over. I had moved into my new apartment. It was a snowstorm. He came over and we chilled, and that was like so weird for me because we hadn't seen each other in so long. So in my mind, it's just like, well, what does this mean? Like when we link up, like we usually just talk about like random things, like what we were doing. But that, I remember just that encounter was just like, I remember not knowing what to say to him or not knowing like how to feel. And it was just like, yeah, this is a wrap. This is after graduation from undergrad. I'm working already in my first apartment, but I'm like, it was just different. I was just a different person, and it was just not the same. And I was just like, yeah, I remember watching him leave, and I was just like, this is it. And that was the last time that we kind of like hung out. I can't remember if the TSA thing was before or after that encounter, but yeah, now we're just we're friends on Snapchat, and like he watches my snaps and stuff, but like there's no communication at all, like at all. I actually when I was in Mexico last month for my solo vacation, I had a dream about him. I usually have a dream about him when I'm like away, like on vacation and stuff. Like I don't know why, but I had a dream about him, and I actually put like a snap on my, because I know that he would look at it. I put like 823. I had a dream about you. Hope everything is well. Hope all is well. Like really small, black background, like just kind of like, hey, I see you, I hope you're good kind of thing. And the only reason I did that is because of the dream that I had about him. But when I tell you, he was the one who kind of like set the foundation for how I really wanted to be treated. Like he treated me like a queen. Like he treated me like I was the only girl in the world. And I played myself because ever since him, like I'll say I have one real relationship after him, and he treated me well also. But because he knew about 823, I'll talk about this new guy in the next video, because he knew about him. It was just like he felt like he was in competition, and I'm just like, nah, like this is completely different. Like when I was with the guy from college, like when we got together, there was still that he was lingering. 823 was lingering, and he knew that. So I think our foundation was just built off of something that was already shaky. I didn't really get him out of my system yet. So we had a lot of interesting and like encounters and conversations and arguments about certain things because of 823. But I'll talk about him in the next episode tomorrow. But I really wanted to like dedicate this episode to him, because like I believe that nothing is wasted. God has been showing me that all of 2021 so far. And like he uses everything. And although that was so long ago, and that was like that was high school, and we were young, and all of these like things and these factors, I do believe that because that's how I started, because that was my first real relationship, like he kind of set the tone in my life for a long time. And I would say even still, but obviously there's differences now because I'm grown and I don't have to ask permission to do certain things or be told no, or kind of like sneak around kind of thing anymore. But like when it came to how I want to feel in a relationship, like I would say hands down, that relationship was it. That relationship, that was it for me. And I think for me now moving forward, if I don't have a guy who, not necessarily that is like him, but if I don't have a guy that makes me feel like I'm the only one in the world, I don't want it, period. Because I know how that feeling is, and I don't want to settle. I'm huge on that. Like I'm huge on not settling. Like why should I? Like no, we don't gotta settle. And if the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with doesn't make you feel like you are a queen, that you are a kingdom woman, that you are everything, like take it back. I don't want it. I don't want it. And the fact that this young guy, this high school guy was able to do this is just like, a man should be able to do that and then some, times 10, times infinity. So yeah, he kind of like, he spoiled me. Like I'm not even giving half, not even a third of what he did and how he made me feel. All of the things that he would do to kind of like just make me feel special. And like I finally, I want to say 2 years ago, got rid of a box that I had of stuff that I was collecting that he would give me. He would write me songs, he would write me poems, he would like have these little trinkets, like just because, like it didn't even have to be a reason. He was just like, nah, I just was feeling this, and so I wrote this for you, or here you go, here's, like I think one Christmas or on my birthday, he bought me the key to his heart. Like he bought a little key like trinket, put it on a chain, and that was my gift. Like this is the key to my heart. Like he was a great guy. He was a great guy. And that's kind of like where it all started for me. And I ruined it. Because I was broken, because I didn't know no better, because I didn't have the guidance that I needed to actually know what it means to cherish a relationship, because I didn't see that as often as I needed to, you know what I mean? Like everybody that was in a real relationship was old and married and telling me that I don't need to be in a relationship. So it was hard for me to kind of like be the woman I'll say be the woman or the girl at that point that I needed to be for him. And yeah, we didn't last. So I don't want to say I regret it, because I do think that even if I didn't if I didn't cheat on him, if I didn't mess up in high school, that college would have been hard for us, because you'll hear about my college days in the next episode. Yeah, college was interesting, and I think I needed that time to kind of really for real find myself. I don't think I needed to find myself the way I did, but I did. I was finding myself, I was figuring things out, and I will talk about that in the next episode, so please stay tuned for the next episode. I just want to make sure I got everything I wanted to get out for this episode. I have here one of my favorite memories that I have of him was his school had like a talent show or some kind of show, and he sings. So he invited me to the show, and he brought me up on the stage, and he sung Music Soul Child Don't Change to me in front of his whole school. And like, it was just like who does that? Yeah, he was just that guy, and I appreciate how he made me feel, because I know now that that feeling is what I want, and I want it, like, of course, in an adult way, but just that spontaneity, that romance, that thoughtfulness, that attentiveness, that all of it, I want that again. And I hadn't had that since, honestly. Not in that way. I feel like it all came with other things, or it all felt forced, or it all felt like, and I'll talk about that. But yeah, I started off with 823, and how many years ago was that? That was 07. Anyway, let me stop this, because I don't need to be in my feelings thinking about this or thinking about him. I listen, if my future husband is watching, I'm over him, okay? Yes, I'm saying all this with a smile on my face because he made me smile all the time. But at the end of the day, like, with all of that I've gone through since our breakup, like, I'm definitely over him. Like, the fact that I was able to get rid of that box, I had that box of stuff that he gave, like, it was like, I think I had like washcloths, like just random stuff in there that kind of was just like sentimental, and like, I don't even want to say some of the other things that I had in there. But to get rid of that box, it lasted all 4 years of undergrad. It went through my first apartment that I shared with my aunt, and then that was my first apartment, right? But my first apartment by myself, it was there for like a year. And then I was just like, yeah, I went through a phase, maybe I'll do a video on it. Like, I went through this moment where it's just like anything from my exes, I just threw it all out, because like I wanted to just make room for what God had for me. And I just got rid of everything. And that was big for me, to get rid of that box. I thought I would never do that. I thought I would be hiding it from my husband. Like, that's the kind of mindset that I had. And it's just like, well, what? Are you dumb? Like, get rid of that. Like, it's over. It's over. Yeah. It's been a long journey since that, but I've definitely come a long way, and I've learned a lot from that relationship. Even though I was so young, that relationship taught me a lot about myself, about how I should honor a man, how I should honor myself, how I should like, just my worth, and understanding like you don't gotta like, that attention thing is something that I've been really praying about, because like that was it for me. Like, I just craved that attention, and I was just not there. But God, okay? But God, okay? I'm not like that anymore. Thank God. Thank God. And I do believe that I'm creating space in my heart and in my life for who God has for me, because that's one of the main reasons I'm doing this, to kind of just like let you guys know, like, if there's anything that you're holding on to that you know is over, let it go. Let it go. I don't even know the song from Frozen, but like, let it go. Let it go. it's okay. It's fine. You will be all right. What God has for you, if it's a no, if it's, I mean, not saying if it's a no, but it's not ever gonna be something that he takes from you without replacing it with something better, or withholding it from you until you're actually ready. Like, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. God has an amazing plan for you. Like, his plans are not your plans. His thoughts are not your thoughts. His ways are not your ways. So just trust him. It was hard for me to kind of get that and get to this place where I am now, but I had to, because I had to let it go. It was holding me back from actually like living out the life God needed me to live. So do I still love him? Of course. Like, there's a lot of love that I have for him, but I ain't in love with him. Like, how can I be? We don't even have a relationship, you know? So there's no hate in my heart. Like, again, that was a learning experience for me. So yeah, that was my high school first love, first everything, really. First everything. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching this long. If you have any questions, if you have a similar story where you remember your high school love and he was that guy for you that kind of like set the pace rather, for your love life, let me know. Again, be engaged with me. Talk to me nice, please. I just shared a lot. This was hard for me to do because I never thought I would say some of the things that I just said, like, out to the world of YouTube. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for rocking with me on my journey as I just, you know, walk into this power, all of this power that is within me, just owning it and walking in authority. And getting this off my chest was like, whew, I did it. It's part of my story that's out there. I do plan on elaborating at a future date, but I really just kind of wanted to get this off my chest and get this out there because, yeah, I didn't want to feel stifled anymore. I wanted you guys to kind of know me a little bit more so I can, like, help you understand where I'm coming from and who I am and why I go so hard to kind of be this woman that God needs me to be because of the mistakes that I've made. Like, those things, kind of like the shame that I felt from them for myself, not realizing, like, girl, you are free indeed. He already handled that for you on the cross. You don't gotta hold on to it. So this series is really helping me out to kind of like get over that shame and talk about some things that are real for me, and it doesn't have to hinder me anymore. So thank you for watching, and comment down below, subscribe. It's free. Join me on this journey so you don't miss anything as God deals with me and he evolves me. Let's do this thing together, okay? Love you guys. Have a good one. Whew. All right, here we go. Lord, be with me as I do these 3 episodes. Father God, be with me, Jesus. Give me the words to say. Give me one take and done. You know how we do, okay? How we looking? We good? Everything's good? Okay. Here we go. This is episode 3. Alright, let's get it.